Today I'm going to show you how to use Pic Collage Kids as an easy tool to create in your classroom. So Pic Collage Kids has this right here. It's called Pic Kids on the icon. It looks like a little frame with an apple in it. There is a Pic Collage that you can use, but there is some adult content in there. So let's make sure and load the Pic Collage Kids on the iPads for the kiddos. So let's go ahead and go in here. And this is one that was created by a student, but if we have one already created, we can touch the arrow on the top up here to get to all of our Pic Collages. If I want to create a new one, I can scroll over. And it says to tap here to create a new collage, so I'm going to do that. When I do that, it gives me the choice to tap anywhere to add a photo. Those are going to be photos that are in your camera roll or that you can use with a picture. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to always access that. Do you see the plus sign on the bottom down here? When you touch the plus sign, it brings up some options to go to your photos, so you can find your photos that are on your iPad already. If I touch that, it'll pull up my photos that are already there, which it looks like my child found the iPad and took some crazy photos. I can also choose web images. So if I go here, it pulls up GIFs and images. We're going to do images, and you can actually search for things here. So a good example, let's just start with making a diagram, since part of our standards are labeling diagrams. So I'm going to look for an alligator, and we're going to label an alligator. So I'm going to find a big, long, good picture of an alligator. This one looks good. Notice when I click it, it highlights it in kind of like a tealish green color, but then on the top it has a check mark with a 1. To put that picture on my page, I need to touch the check mark. So once I do that, you can see that I now have my alligator picture, and I can use 2 fingers to stretch out my picture, and I can use 1 finger to move my picture around. I'm going to put this kind of centered on my page, and then, well, if we can get it centered, there we go. And then I can touch the plus sign at the bottom down here again, and notice I have some choices to add text, stickers, and background. I'm not going to worry about the stickers. That's just kind of to add more fun and flair, but that might end up being more of a distraction. So instead, I'm going to start with the text. So instead of labeling a diagram on a worksheet, I can actually create my own diagram. So this can be fun for kids to choose what they want to label. So they could let them choose any animal or a car or whatever they want to label, they can choose. So I'm going to go ahead and touch the A for text, and notice it brings up a text box. So let's say that we're going to start by labeling the tail. Now when I type in tail, it goes into my box here, and you can see that it's orange, but I also can change the color of my font. So if I touch that, I might want to choose a color that is going to stand out on my page a little bit better. Let's try like this red. Okay, now I can also touch the T right here, and that will change my font for me. So there's lots of different fonts I can choose. Well, let's just go with Bambi, since we are doing some nature stuff. And then right here we have where we can change the background of our, like behind our words. So let's say I want to make that white, so then it really pops out of there. Okay, when I'm ready, I can touch the check mark right here if I'm ready for my word to be ready on my page, and it places it on my page. And again, I can move it with 1 finger, I can stretch it with 2 fingers, and I can shrink it with 2 fingers. So I'm going to put that there. We can continue labeling. All you have to do is go back to the plus sign and hit the text again, and it's going to pull up my same features that I had last time, and we'll save those. So let's say I'm going to make a snout. Again, I'm going to hit the check mark, my word goes on my page, and I can finish labeling it. So you want to continue doing that. Now what's kind of fun, and the kids can personalize it even more, if I go back to the plus sign down here, I can touch that and then choose a background. So I'm going to go to background, and I have lots of different choices for my background. I kind of like this one because it reminds me of camouflage. I know it's flowers, but it kind of looks like he's out hanging out in the forest. If it blends in too much, we can always go back and say, hey, I don't like that background, and choose another one. Let's do this one and see how that looks. Okay, so once I'm done and I'm ready and have my alligator all sorts of labeled and it's ready to email, I can go down to the bottom corner. This is kind of the universal sign to send it off somewhere, so it's a rectangle with an arrow shooting out. So if I touch that, once I do that, it shows that it's saving to my library. So I should have that saved into my library and ready to go. So I can check here, and now I can go back. I'm going to click my home button and go back into my photos, and I can see on the bottom left-hand corner that my alligator picture is saved. Now, a great way to get this off of here and sent to parents is, again, my universal sign, my rectangle with the arrow shooting out. I can take this, tap it, and now I can click on mail, and I can now mail this to my parent that I have in my contact group. Now, if you're using the iPad cart from that you checked out, I think the best thing to do is to email it to yourself, and then you can put the student's name in the subject line, and then you would email it to your email account. And then when you get back into your classroom and look on your computer, you'll have an email from all the students in your class, and then you can just put a grade on it, like say 100%, they got them all right, and even add a comment like labels look great. And then when you do that, you can send this off to the parents, and they have their child's work. You know, it made it home, and they'll love to see that authentic work. Okay, so now let's do a pic collage where we can actually add multiple pictures. So let's practice doing one for living and non-living. So I'm going to go back to my plus sign down here. And this time I'm going to add a photo. So I'm going to go to my photo, and I will add an iPad in there. And then I'm going to click check, and it will go on my page. I'm going to go back to the plus sign, and I'm going to add some things from the web. Now, again, I'm going to click on images on the side or on the top, and then I typed in kid earlier, so I'm going to choose him. And then I'm not going to hit the check mark this time. I'm going to search for some more things. So I'm going to search for a dog. Excuse me. And then I'm also, I'm going to choose one. And then I'm going to search for one more non-living thing, and I'm going to search for a rock. And I'll choose this one. Now, you can see that my check mark now has 3 pictures selected, so I want those 3 pictures, so I'm going to click check. And now all 3 of these pictures are on my page, and I can just move them with my finger. I have one image that cannot be loaded at this time. Let's go back and find another one. We'll use this rock. And then check. Let's say I accidentally choose another rock, and I have too many. I can just take this up to the trash can, and it goes right in there. Okay, so now that I have 4 pictures on my page, I want to organize them. So I'm going to go down to my frames section down here. Once I touch that, it's going to pull up some different frames I can put it in. And the nice thing is it recognizes that I have 4 pictures, so it's going to give me a 4 frame. But I can still scroll through the other frames and choose more if I wanted to. Like if you want to put words or something in there. Let's go ahead and choose this 4 frame here. Now you can see that some of the faces and different things are cut off, so I want to fix that. So I'm going to take my picture, and I can drag and put it where I want to put it. I can even use 2 fingers and shrink a picture so it fits better into my frame. I want to do that with these. This one needs to be shrunk a little bit. So that works pretty good. Now I can go back and do what I did before. I can go down to my plus sign and do text. This time I'm going to label living and non-living. So I'm going to make my non-living blue, and I'm going to say non-living. And hit check. And I'll put my non-living things up at the top. And then down here, I'm going to do living. And let's change that. So those are green. So I'm going to type living in here. And then I can take that. Again, I can size it. Whoops, I accidentally just threw it away. The cool thing is I can take my trash and tap it, and the last thing that I threw away comes back out. So that works out pretty good. So now I have living, non-living, and I can place that in here. Again, I can go and change my, not my stickers, I can change my background to something else. Let's do these fun polka dots. All right, so that's how you would make a pic collage with multiple pictures. Again, you would save it by tapping the rectangle with the arrow shooting out of it, and it saves to your library, and you can go back to your photos and email it like we did before. Think about the things that you can do with Pic Collage in your class, and I can't wait to see them.